So I was walking through Anala Plaza and I was going to this bubble tea shop, and I was in line, and there was this really attractive girl. She was in front of me in the line, and I was like, damn, could this line go any slower? Am I right? And she was like, ha ha, you're so funny. And I was like, what's your name? And she was like, Lisa. And I was like, you come here often? And she was like, yeah, I usually come here after writing this screenplay. And I was like, you write screenplays? And she was like, yeah, I'm writing like a script for like this sitcom that I'm directing. And I was like, oh, you like sitcoms? And she was like, yeah. And right now I'm trying to work my way towards being an actress, but right now I'm just learning how to write these screenplays. I was like, oh, you like acting, so you could like pretend to be my girlfriend. And she was like, whoa, not so fast. And I was like, what? I said pretend. And that kind of got her laughing. And we got to talking about my ambitions. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna publish my book series. It's Alien Annihilators. And she's like, oh, you write books. And I was like, yeah, this is a 1,000,000 copy bestseller in the making, and you could be one of the first reviewers to bring in the sales for this cultural phenomenon that's gonna shape storytelling forever. And she was asking, is it a romance novel? And I was like, it's more like science fiction, but it has some romance. It has this couple that falls in love at the end. And she was like, oh, that's very interesting. I'm writing this sitcom, and it's about like these co-workers that hate each other, but they're partnered together to do like this marketing plan for the company. And throughout the series, they learn to set each other's differences aside, and they find out that they work really well together on these marketing plans for the company. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. I seen some movies and shows like this where the love interests kind of hate each other at the beginning, but this relationship kind of evolves, and I got really interested. And I asked her where she came up with the idea for this sitcom, and she was like, oh, it's from this movie that I watched, Love Actually. And I was like, oh yeah, I've seen that movie. So it's like the movie with those these couples that are kind of thrown together with these situations they're thrown together, and they kind of realize that they have these feelings for each other. And she was like, yeah, that's where I got the idea for this sitcom, because I like the idea of these situations putting people together and getting them to like face these feelings that they didn't know they had before. And I was like, oh, this sounds very interesting. I feel like this would make a very interesting conversation over like some coffees or some drinks. And she was like, oh yeah, for sure, definitely. and I was like, I know a nice cafe, you want to go down there and get some coffees or some smoothies or something? And she was like, yeah, that sounds great, and I'd like to learn more about your books as well. And so it was a really good date, and it really showed me that you don't need to overthink these decisions. Like just like that, I was on a date with this girl after just 5 minutes of talking with her, and it really showed me that all this time I was overthinking these decisions, and it never really led to action until I just stopped thinking and acted more. So the moral of this video is basically to stop thinking and act more, because when you act, you see that there's nothing to worry about. And that's all I got for the video. Goodbye.